Well, all right, I will say this, and maybe not tonight, but it happened. The starters were announced.
Oh, the All-Star,
in the All-Star
I actually
game.
have it all pulled up. I figured we'd get to that at some point since that game stunk out loud.
Joel, 7th time making the All-Star team, 7th time being the starter. They're going back to the East-West side of things, no draft, and Joel's going to make his 7th All-Star appearance. We all know very well deserving, and he made his 7th. So the starters for the East are Embiid, Giannis, Tatum, Halliburton, of course, who should be in there, and then Damian Lillard. And that's the one, not that he wouldn't have made it, but it certainly maybe puts somebody else in a tough spot on the outside looking in as far as guards go. When you talk about Brunson, Maxey, and Trey Young. Am I missing anybody else as far as the guards go?
Mitchell.
No, those are,
Mitchell and Mitchell.
Yep.
But he kind of snuck in there and maybe pushed somebody on the outside looking in.
Well, the voting split for the East backcourt, to me, is one of the most fascinating vote splits in All-Star history, if you look at it. So Halliburton was one across the board.
Yep.
And like that doesn't surprise me. He became the kind of the darling of the league early in the year and has been awesome. So no issues there. Dame finished 3rd in fan voting, 4th in player voting, 5th in media voting.
And sort of the key there is that he was consistent, whereas like the media had Brunson 2, fans had Trey Young 2, and players had Tyrese Maxey 2. And the fact there was no consensus there allowed someone like Lillard, who's at least in the top 4 or 5 in all of them, to sort of jump up.
And the most interesting one from a Sixers perspective to me, obviously, is Maxey being 2 in the player vote. And it wasn't even a particularly close 2 either. He got 131 player votes. The next closest guy was Brunson. He got 78.
Wow.
So the players showed a ton of love and respect for Maxey, which I like. Look, I'm not saying that the players are better or worse as a voting block than anyone else, because people love to shit on the fans. The fans did not try to make Thanasis Antetokounmpo a starter, which 3 different people tried to vote 3 different players voted for Thanasis to be an all-star starter.
See, come on.
Which is, look, that's a completely separate conversation. But Maxey getting that volume of support at his age and where he's at on the curve, that's pretty impressive, because for everybody, I don't care if it's a fan, coach, media, player, it always takes some time to generate the level of respect to be an all-star starter, like an all-star period, but absolutely to be an all-star starter. So for Tyrese to, in the players' minds, box out Dame Lillard and Trey Young and Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, that's a big effing deal, dude. Like, that's crazy to me. And that's something that if he does or doesn't make the all-star team aside, that's something he should notice and feel pretty proud of, that he had that kind of start to the season.
You've got me wondering now. There's only 2 Antetokounmpos in the league, right? Because Kostas, I think, is now back overseas, and the other one has not yet.
Alex, I don't think
he's still in college.
Yeah.
So where'd the other 2 come?
It's got to be another like deep bench Milwaukee guy, right?
Or a Milwaukee guy that left who still likes him.
When you said 3, I'm like, wait, are there 4 Antetokounmpos in the league? Because that's the only way he should possibly get 3 votes.
Listen, man, that dude is theater. I cannot help but when I watch the games, I cannot help but to look over there whenever they are down by the Bucks bench, whether it's a road game or home game. I can't help it. I cannot help it. I can't stand them, but I can't help it. And it's ridiculous. And I think have you all seen the highlight reel, quote unquote, of Thanasis going around, of all his fun adventures on the floor? Yes. That guy, man.
I'm just looking at the
Giannis
Bucks roster, trying to speculate who would. It's got to be an end of bench guy, right? Someone who wants to get
towel
waving and
getting Giannis's good side or something.
It seems like he's on a good relationship with Jay Crowder there, even though Jay Crowder actually plays. When I watch, they're like, rubbing shoulders and like campaign.
Marjon Beauchamp, is he like a big Thanasis guy?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, but got 3 votes.
Losing the plot a little bit on that. The point is more...
Maxey should feel good about his peers looking at him that way.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And he didn't make it because the fans voted him 6th. And that makes sense. Like fan voting, I feel like it takes a year or two behind. So he gets sort of like the reputation now. That reputation will then help him in next year's voting.
Yeah. So that was interesting. In the front court, Joel starting, and he got... If we're looking at the breakdown, he was... second behind Giannis in media. It's actually third in fan voting. Tatum ended up passing him.
Which what we're learning here is that Philly fans did not do a good job.
You said it, not me. Don't get me in trouble. And he finished second in player voting, and that was fairly close between him and Giannis. Giannis got 196 player votes. Joel got 193. So Tatum a distant third amongst the players.
Well, I mean... Should be a fun All-Star game. In the West, it's Kevin Durant, LeBron James in the backcourt, Luka Doncic, along with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Which, by the way, that's a big deal. No Steph Curry starting in the All-Star game. Like that.
And we're talking about Oklahoma City.
That tells you how awesome Shai and Oklahoma City have been this year.
Yeah. Who's the big man? Who's starting?
It's Jokic.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know how did I forget that?
Jokic, Shai, Luka,
LeBron, and Kevin Durant.
LeBron, KD. Yeah, I mean that's a squad right there.
That is a squad. Should be fun. Hopefully, Maxey's there in Indiana, where they played tonight for the site of the All-Star game in February. You'll see if he's there. Pretty good chance that he might be there, but we'll see. Give our thoughts on that a little bit later.
Honestly, though, I think this probably helps Maxey because, like, if Dame was going to be on that team. Like the coaches were going to pick Dame. So him getting sort of like that second spot over someone like maybe Brunson, who maybe certainly played well enough to deserve it. There's a chance I could see of a coach picking Maxey over Brunson. There was no chance of them picking Maxey over Dame. So I think it probably helps his chances.
And I think Maxey over Trey.
That's the one.
Yeah. If I had to guess that Maxey will get the nod there because they don't want to give Trey, who's on a terrible team this year, any kind of love, if I had to guess.
Yep.
We all silly like the mayor.